What's going on, everybody? C4 here today, continuing with the Madden 18, Madden 17 roster reveal, and we're looking at the Minnesota Vikings, a team that did not have a first-round pick, but I think they did some solid additions, which will make their roster potentially, I think, a fringe team to do like a good rebuild. If you want to look for a team to pick up in connected franchise mode, that still has a little bit of work to do, but some of the pieces are there. The Vikings could be a prime candidate. So for this series, if you've never seen it yet, go check out the Philadelphia Eagles episode where I go in depth about what you're going to see in these rosters, but the Cliff Notes versions, the ratings are based off of my opinion, their stats, Pro Football Focus. All teams' first 3 rounds of draft picks are included. Rounds 4 to undrafted free agent, I've just included the notable guys. Because of that limitations of the offline player management, some guys' height and weights need to be, really tweaked in connected franchise mode, but these are connected franchise mode rosters. 35,000 subscribers, we're going to be really close to it the time you guys are seeing this video. I will be releasing the rosters to you guys for free. You look around, people are charging money, all that, and the free rosters are garbage. If you look on the roster share, so this will be out at 35,000 subscribers. And if you agree or disagree with any of the ratings you see, please feel free to let me know in the comment section below. Like, after I release the rosters, it's not so much of a reveal anymore because you guys can go download it on Xbox One, but I still want to release them because I can get you guys' feedback on the ratings, and if you think I should do some adjustments. I look in at every single comment for the most part. But without further ado, look at the Minnesota Vikings at the quarterback spot. We gave Sam Bradford an 82 overall. Last season, Mr. Samuel Bradford, 7-8 as a starter, had 3,800 passing yards. We'll round it up to 3,900 passing yards, 20 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. I think he set a record for completions percentage or something like that, 71.6%. A lot of checkdowns. I watched a couple Vikings game, a lot of checkdowns. Not an impressive stat at all. And I thank you as a Philadelphia Eagle fan that we got our first round pick back. But I think it kind of worked out for both sides of this. I'm going to say, in my biased opinion, the first round pick, which eventually turned into Derek Barnett this season. I think having the first round pick is more beneficial than what you guys got with Sam Bradford, but ever so slightly, because with the uncertainty of Teddy Bridgewater, who we gave a 76 overall. I think he was a 79. I downgraded to a 76 because we don't know what he's going to look like when he finally steps back on the football field. It is still, when it first happened, everyone thought we fleeced the Minnesota Vikings. We gained up Bradford, but it looks like it was pretty beneficial for both teams. And, Bradford is a quarterback that if you can get an offensive line that can keep him upright, if they can establish a run game, he can win games in this league. So, you have him going forward. You have Keenum 71 and Hinkie 59. At the running back spot, they brought in Latavius Murray from the Raiders. Last season, his stats were kind of inflated. Lots of red zone touches that made his stat line look good, but his yards per carry was not very good. And there was a reason why the Raiders let him go. He finished the year with 788 rushing yards, 12 touchdowns, 1,000 yards per scrimmage. But, it's kind of one of those things. He left a lot of meat in the bones. So I feel 83 based off his stat line is good. But I do think it was slightly inflated. I would not be surprised to see eventually Dalvin Cook, who we gave a 76 overall, be the eventual starter. They got him in the second round after he kind of took a nosedive with the off-the-field issues, his lack of agility. But, that being said, I think Dalvin Cook is, all reports from camp and stuff like that seem to be checking out that he's going to be a beast. We have Jerick McKinnon, 77 overall. I mean, he's no slouch at all. I think a lot of people are kind of sleeping on McKinnon, who last season had almost 800 yards from scrimmage and 4 touchdowns. I think he can add some, value to this offense still, and they have Sankey here with a 73. Fullback is just this guy because they lost their starting fullback, Zach Line, in free agency. He's just a tight end that I moved there. Wide receiver, we have Stefon Diggs, who we gave an 85 overall. Big fan of Stefon Diggs here on Beast Mode TV. This is your first time stopping by. If you're, a long-time regular, you know that we called Stefon Diggs to be a beast when they drafted him. Last season, he had 84 catches, 900 yards, and 3 touchdowns in 11 starts. I would imagine if he played all 16 games, he would be well over 1,000 yards, probably 100 catches as well. So an 85 overall, a very good wide receiver. They Adam Thielen, who really emerged as a serviceable weapon for the Minnesota Vikings last season. 69 catches, 69 catches, 967 yards, and 5 touchdowns. So that gets him an 82 overall. Very good wide receiver. We have Michael Floyd, who recently just signed 76. I think if he can get his, on the straight and narrow, he can be definitely a serviceable wide receiver. And they have Quan Treadwell, who barely stepped on the field at all, with a 73. Jarius Wright, 72. And Moritz Boehringer, the German, with a 62. Jumping to the tight end spot, we gave Kyle Rudolph an 88 overall. Really good season last year. Was Sam Bradford's favorite target, debatably. Finished the year with 83 catches, 840 yards, and 7 touchdowns. Was one of the most productive tight ends in the league. So we give him an 88, which I think puts him as like the number 8 tight end. Lots of 8s there. but he's very good. Bucky Hodges was a late round pick. I thought that was a steal. He's a 69. And McDermott here, I assume he's a long snapper with a 50. Jumping to the offensive line, we gave Riley Reef a 71 overall. Now, we have a couple new pieces here on the offensive line, but we use predominantly Pro Football Focus for the grades. And last year, Riley Reef for the Detroit Lions, playing at, I think he played at right tackle, got a 67.5, which is not very good. I think the intentions is for him to be the starting left tackle. So we could give his bump up a little bit to a 71, but they paid a lot of money for a guy that I'm not exactly sure if it's going to be the answer. They got Danny Isidore, who's probably going to be a guard just for the limitations of player management and the offline. We had to make him a tackle. They got left guard Alex Boone, 79 overall. That's about what he got for Pro Football Focus. We got center Pat Elflein, who they drafted. I thought that was a great pick out of Ohio State. I think, not necessarily, I don't know if he can develop into an all-pro, but I think what you're getting here, bottom line, is a serviceable starter. At right guard, they got Joe Berger, who got an 86 overall. Pro Football Focus gave him a high 85, so I ran it up to an 86 to try to, for all you guys want to pick up with the Minnesota Vikings, a fighting chance with Sam Bradford back there. You got Willie Beavers as well with a 69. And at right tackle, they brought in Mike Remmers from the Carolina Panthers. Again, they spent a lot of money on these two tackles. Remmers graded out at left tackle with a 61 from Pro Football Focus. We gave him a 73, which I think may be seen as a little bit generous, but I felt if I gave appropriate kind of in relation to the Pro Football Focus grades, people will be shitting on these rosters. But I do think they spent a lot of money on guys that aren't special at the tackle spots this season. They just threw a lot of money at their problem, hoping it could go away in the mold of the New York Giants. I don't necessarily know if that's going to work out here for the Minnesota Vikings. But on the defensive side of the ball, very good defense. At left defensive end, we gave Danielle Hunter an 87 overall. Last season, led the team with 12.5 sacks. According to Pro Football Reference, he never started a game officially. It looks like that they had Brian Robinson and Griffin as the two starters, and Hunter worked his way in as a rotational guy. Finished the year last season with a forced fumble, 12.5 sacks, leading the team, and 52 tackles as well as a safety. The fact this guy's 21 going on 22, one of the best, if not the best, young edge rusher in the. I put him right up there with a Joey Bosa, so that's why I gave him an 87. Brian Robinson, a serviceable veteran, we gave him an 81. He had 7.5 sacks last season and 3 forced fumbles. At right defensive end, Everson Griffin, we gave him an 85. A little bit of a down year from him. In 16 starts, he had 2 forced fumbles, 8 sacks, and just shy of 50 total tackles. So a little bit of a down year. I do think, though, that's 85 and 87. You got people that's like, oh, Griffin's not better, or Griffin's not worse than Hunter, basing it a little bit off the stats, and I think the upside with Hunter. But Griffin is definitely serviceable. I think 85 is fair. I got Dayton Jones here in free agency for, really good rotation here on the ends. At the defensive tackle spot, we gave Linval Joseph an 86 overall, which I think is third for nose tackles in the NFL in my rosters. I made the Pro Bowl last year, 16 starts, he had 4 sacks and 77 tackles. I think he actually might be number 2. I think Snacks Harrison's the number 1 nose tackle. I think Linval's number 2. Number 2 and number 3, fairly good for one of the best nose tackles in the NFL. Shrift Floyd, we gave him an 81, down from an 85, just because, there is uncertainty if he will be able to continue his football career, which sucks. He was a beast at Florida, and 2 years ago was very, very good for the Minnesota Vikings, so we have to wait and see. We got Tom Johnson here, 75 overall. In some rotational duty, I think. Kind of like Everson, Danielle Hunter, never really started, had it finished the season, though, with an interception, 2 sacks, and 20 tackles, so he probably will fill the void. We got Critton here, probably butcher the name, Crichton. I'm going to go with Crichton, that's probably Crichton, 71. Will Sutton coming over from the Chicago Bears at 70. Jaleel Johnson, their 4th round draft pick. I think I'm in the 3rd or 4th round. I think it was the 4th round, 68. I like that value, and a couple other guys here as well. Jumping to the left outside linebacker spot, we give Anthony Barr an 82 overall. Last season, Anthony Barr somehow made the Pro Bowl. Now that they get down to like the 4th and 5th alternates for the Pro Bowl, I really think now more than ever it doesn't really hold a lot of weight. But in 16 starts for Anthony Barr, he had 4 pass deflections, a forced fumble, 2 sacks, and 70 total tackles. Not the greatest year from Anthony Barr. A lot of people, I think most Minnesota Viking fans would agree that it's down a little bit, his production from 2 years ago, but still a very solid linebacker with lots of upside. We got middle linebacker Eric Kendricks, who we gave an 84 overall, led the team with 70 solo tackles, over 100 total tackles, 2.5 sacks, 9 pass deflections, a forced fumble, 1 pick 6. So 84, I think, definitely looking like the better of the 2 Kendricks brothers right now in the NFL. We also have Cantrell Brothers and Ben Gideon, the rookie from Michigan. Right outside linebacker, Emmanuel Lemur is slated to be the starter. We gave him a 72 overall, and they got Elijah Lee late. I think they got Elijah Lee 6th round, 7th round. 7th round, that's tremendous value. I wouldn't be surprised to see him be the top depth on the outside linebacker there at the old Will linebacker spot. Jumping to the secondary, we give Xavier Rhodes an 89 overall, just fringe of a 90. I think he's the number 6 corner in my rosters last season. Somehow got snubbed from All-Pro, made the Pro Bowl, 14 games played. He had 5 picks. One of those was a pick 6. He had 10 pass deflections, a forced fumble, over 50 tackles, and really, shut down a lot of elite wide receivers last season. He's a beast. That's an 89. Trey Waynes, we gave him an 82 overall. He finished the season in 9 starts with 3 picks, 11 pass deflections, and just shy of 50 total tackles. You got Terrence Newman, who came back. Old man Terrence Newman, still being able to produce at an old age. Had 9 starts last season with 1 interception, 8 pass deflections, and 40 tackles. You got Mackenzie Alexander here with a 73. Sherrill is one of the best special teamers in the NFL, 68, and Price 65. Great secondary here. Harrison Smith gets a 90. Not his strongest season last year by any means in 14 starts. Didn't get an interception. Had 2 pass deflections, 2 sacks, and just 70, almost 90 total tackles. But he still is one of the best safeties. I think 90, he was really good last year. Just didn't show up a lot on the stat sheets. I guess I could look at Viking fans to see this is really the one rating. I would say him and probably Everson Griffin in terms of how, if I'm way off on evaluating, I'd like to hear feedback on this one for the 90 for Harrison Smith. And at strong safety, Andrew Sadeha. We gave a 78 overall. Very serviceable strong safety. 14 starts last year. He had 2 interceptions, 4 pass deflections. He had half a sack, over 60 tackles. Very serviceable. Not bad at all. Kicker, we have Kai Forbath, an 81. And punter, Ryan Quigley, a 76. So there you go, guys. Those are your projected Madden 18, Madden 17 rosters here on the Xbox One. As always, at 35,000 subscribers, I will be releasing these to you guys for free. If you agree or disagree with any of the ratings you see here today, let me know about it in the comment section below. And until next time, it is C4 saying peace